Hi guys, the Black Ops 6 Zombies launch blog post is finally here. It contains new screenshots of Liberty Falls with the graphical changes. It contains a bunch of other information about all sorts of elements of the game, the new HUD, a tour of Terminus, all the new augments. And so we're going to dive through all of that info today. So if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and we'll get started. And the first thing I want to say is look how gorgeous this weapon looks. Does look a little similar to the Recon, kind of in similar territory there, but bro, I don't care. It's sexy. Oh, and if you're wondering what the deal is with the whiteboard here, these people were gifting members and gifting subs on a stream I did the other day. You should check out one of those streams sometime, but I wanted to basically shout those people out for being supportive of our community. So salute to all of them. LTXE and Caden especially, you guys crushed it. So let's get started with one of our new Liberty Falls screenshots. What do you guys think of this? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section down below. We'll take a deeper look at the screenshot in a moment, but specifically this says, since the debut of early gameplay footage at Call of Duty Next back in August, the Zombies team has continued to iterate on the look, feel, and sound of Liberty Falls to up the map's creepiness factor. They're saying it's going to be a moodier visual tone with gorier set dressings and new environmental audio to more intensely reflect the chaos of a very recent dimensional breach. And an example of this appears to be what they've done with the skybox here. There's a big ass cloud above that little church graveyard. They also say additional atmospheric elements related to the map's main quest will also be present. So it's interesting they're just saying additional elements. That doesn't give me a huge amount of hope and a huge amount of confidence, but let's keep reading. And of course, there might be a brand new Easter egg song from Kevin Sherwood along the way. Well, we already knew that, so that's sort of not that big a deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's not news. But this is what the map looks like right now. And essentially, it seems like they've basically made it a lot less bright. So where previously the sky was not sunny necessarily, but it was a very bright sky, it's certainly more gray now. It's more overcast. Like the sky just looks dimmer in general. And so while it is still taking place during the day, we at least don't have the I'm walking through a sunny, happy, completely normal town kind of feel that we had. But I'm very curious because I think this is going to be very divided and divisive. I think that some people are going to see these sorts of shots and go, it looks the same. Like it just looks more gray. More gray is not good. More gray is not more aura. Whereas other people are going to say, okay, well, like at least they've got some dark E3 stuff here. It's kind of ugly, maybe you could argue, but it's still aura. So like, I'll give it points for that. I'd love to hear where you guys stand on it. I think it's honestly too little to see to really judge, but maybe there'll be some more screenshots and stuff further down as we go through the blog here, because there is some other stuff that they're going to be showing. So let's move on to the HUD. The UI team has continued to update the HUD. This includes character portraits. Yeah, baby, let's go. General alignment and color adjustments made across the entire HUD. Okay. Perk icons positioning closer together. Okay, fair. That's cool. I didn't realize that that was a thing that we had a problem with before, but I back it. Zombie-specific widgets added for certain in-game actions. Yes! In-game Gobblegum reward animation added. Nice. Visibility sliders added to allow players to fine-tune or completely disable additional HUD elements, including score feed, medals, and notifications. Yes. Minimap opacity. Yes. Weapon and equipment information and more. Okay, good changes. There's even a screenshot down here. Let's take a look. Okay. Oh, bro. Oh, it's so much better. That is so much better. It's clean. No mini-map. The character icon. I am a fan. I'm a fan of these changes. There's elements of this that I still think could be better. Don't get me wrong. This area of the HUD down here is kind of boring. I would love for it to be more zombies themed, but this is a step in a very positive direction, and I will take steps in a positive direction, right? I will really very gladly take scenarios where we moan about stuff, right? We specify the problems that we have with what we're seeing, and then Treyarch actually makes actionable steps towards fixing those problems. Like, yes. More of that, okay? I will encourage that till the day I die. So, is it perfect? No. And it's okay to say that, but I'm enthusiastic about the fact that they've bothered. That is good. Also, like, no health bars here. Good sign, right? I think this is good. I think this is a positive change. And it's nice as well because, like, we've all been putting so much work into giving this feedback, and when it falls on deaf ears, as it really could have done. Like the Liberty Falls changes that we're seeing up here, they could have ignored this so easily. They could have just been like, that's the look we're going for, so screw you guys, right? But it's nice when you're doing this much work, in my case, literal work to make the videos, or in your cases, guys, all of the discussions and the endless conversations on forums and the tweets and all of that groundswell of community conversation. It's really lovely to actually feel like that's going somewhere. And so often in Zombies, it feels like it doesn't go somewhere. And speaking of, just a quick aside here, like as part of my build up to to the launch of the game, I've been doing a few different things. I've been trying to build up my team as much as I can, and I've tried to make sure that like any gaps in my content operation are kind of filled. And so I want to just add a little insert here. Basically, if any of you guys want to work for me, I know this sounds crazy, but like if you want to like actually do some work for me, or you just want to volunteer and help out, I would love for you to tweet me and just let me know like what your thing is that you do. Specifically, I'm really looking for some support in a few areas right now. I've got a lot of editors I work with already. I've got some folks doing zombies capture. I really need someone who's willing to not play zombies for a few days at launch and just capture the campaign for me in like crystal clear, like 4K or just high res, perfect content to work with some of my edit team. That would be really useful for some of my campaign videos that I have planned, because I'm a bit busy solving the Easter egg, you know? So that's something that I would really love. If you feel like you're the right person for that, tweet me, let me know. Also, if you think you're a sick script writer, not like script writing in the, oh, I did like film and TV at uni kind of style, because that tends to be just a very different style. But if you're really good at writing a YouTube video specifically, that could be a short, that could be longs, whatever. If you're good at writing in the YouTube kind of form to maintain retention and all that stuff, tweet me, write a script in like 5 minutes. I don't know, write a short, like write a 60-second short or something. Tweet me it, just tweet me a Google Doc. And if you're good, maybe I'll hire you. Who knows, right? Oh, and if you're gonna tweet me about any of these things or any role that you think could be helpful to my overall content operation or anything you want to volunteer with, even if it's just like helping moderate my subreddit, because I just got that subreddit unbanned, r/MrRoflWaffles. So I need mods for that now, and etc. Lots of stuff to do. But if you're gonna tweet me any of this stuff, please include the word pineapple, just because it'll make it easier for me to search through and make sure I'm not missing anybody's submissions on Twitter. And then the last thing is like thumbnails. If you're really sick at making 2D thumbnails in my style, maybe you could just spend like 5-10 minutes making a thumbnail with some of the images from this blog post or something in the sort of style that I typically go for, and then tweet me it and just be like, hey, I can do stuff like this. You want to commission me? Hit me up, right? And similarly, if you just want to volunteer your services, hit me up. Like I'm so open to that, because I'm putting so much in place right now to try and make the best possible launch content for you guys, and I need all the help I can get, man. Like I've been so busy preparing for this game. That actually brings me on to a separate thing that I just want to quickly insert here. I'm sure you guys are probably in pretty similar places to me, where work just gets busy this time of year. And on top of all that, I've been really trying to maintain my gym routine and to get my protein in. And when you get busy like this, it can get so tempting to just start slacking on your diet, forgetting your protein, all that sort of stuff, ordering food, etc. But that is where today's sponsor, Factor, comes in. So if you're like me and you're trying to get that protein in, or you're just getting really busy with things and you want to make sure you're still eating a balanced diet, Factor has dietitian approved meals to help you meet all of those goals. They've got 6 meal preference options, so keto, vegan, veggie, calorie smart, all that stuff. And they've got smoothies and snacks as well if you want those on top of the regular meals. And it's really simple. It's just 2 minutes in the microwave. They're ready to go, saves you tons of time. So if you'd like to get started with Factor and give it a try for yourself, head to factor75.com or click the link in the description down below and use code MILO50 at checkout to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code MILO50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. So yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that you guys have as much time to Easter egg hunt as I'm hoping to have Easter egg hunting. But back to the rest of the video here, let's take a look at some of this Terminus Island Recon exploration. This is a gorgeous screenshot. I will say the quality of these shots is just, it's good, man. It's hitting. This says, from the long disused mining tunnels to its use as a World War II resupply depot, the structures built as part of a shuttered CIA black site, there's a wealth of discoveries to be made across Terminus Island. There's more recent evidence of heinous biological experimentation led by Project Janus. Okay, so Janus was doing biological experimentation specifically. Interesting. The newly freed crew will need to stay on their toes, of course. Cells and guard station. Okay, yeah. This looks like the map that I played. Should I do a video on my first thoughts on Terminus because I've played it? Should I do that, guys? If you want me to do that video, leave a comment. Like, let me know. That would be useful. At the top of the prison sits a series of holding cells where the Requiem crew have been biding their time for the last half decade. Paint's peeling, etc. Adjacent is the guard station where your handlers, Peck and Strauss, have barricaded themselves. So that's this stuff here. I've got to say, Terminus has aura. And I think part of the reason they're showing us this stuff is because this is aura in the flesh right here. This is good. There's the security and control center. It is a bit empty. Like, don't you think that this looks just empty? I'm not saying this is a problem, but like, look how sparse this shot is. There's like nothing in this room. Interesting choice. And same with this, like, it's so empty, it's so barren. Again, not a criticism, just an observation. And I mean, I guess they're even commenting on it here. The remains of Janus' communication structure seems well maintained, right? I mean, it really does. The stuff here is quite neat. Hopefully that's going to mean that there's some good lore stuff that we can kind of dig into, because it's not all been destroyed. The storage area leads down to an unloading ramp at the wreck yard. Either side's a structure built in 1942 when the US Navy established a resupply base on the island. Looking forward to learning more lore about that. There's the sea tower, which looks like Battery from COD World at War. Explore the Dark Ether Reactor, DAR Sea Tower. Ah, okay, interesting. A gun emplacement atop an octagonal tower with attached metal ramps and gantries. Cool, okay. And there's a massive gun emplacement, which I did use, and you can jump in the portal, and that's pretty cool. Then there's the sea caves. These look really nice. These were dug out toward the end of the 19th century. There's really layers to the history of this island. I think that is really cool. And then this is the biolab area. So this says an impressive feat of engineering awaits, a large sea cave hollowed out with a large-scale research facility, multi-level gantry walkways, and an experimentation chamber lies within. This is where the pack punch is on the map. Ah, speaking of which, here it is. So this is what the map looks like. And there's a mag elevator as well. I didn't realize that, but that's cool because there's quite a lot of running on the map between areas. So it's nice to have some shortcuts. Then there's this shipwreck, which I spent quite a lot of time on when I played the map, slowly rusting from center prow. The waters have eaten away the hull, but the main deck is seemingly accessible. You've got outer islands, which I also spent a decent amount of time on when I played. I like that they've given them names. So there's Castle Rock Island, named after the natural stone edifice jutting from the tidal sands that appear to be an old fortification. I guess that's this. And then there's Crab Island, where Janus disposal crews would discard the remains of their science team's unwholesome experiments. So that's going to have some stuff we're going to have to dig up for sure. And then they're also talking about the thing in the water here, which is cool, but no details just yet. Oh, and we're getting a tour of Liberty Falls as well. Man, they've already got a lot of stuff in here. So this is going to be the new Liberty Falls. Again, this is not really a good gauge of what the aura is like because this is just a parasite round, so it's got green sky everywhere, but I guess maybe that still counts for some aura points. It did have that before though. So Liberty Falls feels a world away from the dark, stormy waters of Terminus. Players must explore a once idyllic, now horrific small town. By the time you arrive under the watchful eye of Project Janus security chief, the town is overrun and the battle seems well and truly lost. Now, something that I want to moan about here is that they're being really misleading with this wording, because this says Liberty Falls takes place concurrently with the aftermath of the dimensional breach on Terminus Island. What that is going to mean to people is that on Terminus, right, the aftermath, which you're playing as the crew experiencing the aftermath of that breach, right? What that's going to mean to people is that the aftermath of the dimensional breach is what you're doing in the map, right? Like, you are Weaver experiencing the aftermath of the dimensional breach. You literally see the breach in the cutscene, and then you experience the aftermath, okay? And so, if you're expecting Liberty Falls to be concurrent with that aftermath, then it's concurrent with the dimensional breach on Liberty Falls, with the minutes after the dimensional breach on Terminus. But it's not. It is confirmed to not be that, because we've already seen in Liberty Falls gameplay, Blanchard talks about you arriving to the site the next day. Like, 12 hours or something have passed. So it's not concurrent. That is just wrong. I don't know why they keep saying this, because it just isn't the case. The outbreaks occur at the same time, okay? That much is true, but Liberty Falls itself, which we are playing, does not take place during us playing on Terminus. We play on Terminus minutes after the dimensional breach, but we play on Liberty Falls hours after the breach. I don't know why they don't specify that. Like, they're not gaining anything by doing it. It's just confusing. And they're even kind of referencing it here, like by the time you arrive, as in, we're not arriving at the same time that they're arriving here. So why are we using this word concurrent? It's not concurrent. Anyway, it's just it's a small gripe. Okay, so this is a new look at the overall map. So there were more screenshots of it here. And I mean, it's grayer. It's definitely grayer. And I'm curious, do you guys like that look? Do you think that that adds to the aura? Like, is this higher aura than what we saw before? I think it probably has a better aura than what we saw before. Now, there is something negative to be said for just straying into going completely gray. Like, gray as a color isn't really an aura, right? So I think that if we go too far in that direction, there's risks there, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, I think. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. So this is the Motor Lodge. Again, Very gray what they've got here. We've got Ollie's Comics, which we saw before. We had people running sort of down this corridor, and it looked very, very similar to the multiplayer map. And it looks like they've now got this purple storm just kind of hanging out. So I guess the updates that they made were to just patch in little ether storms that I guess they could roam around, or they just sort of sit there. I'm not gonna lie, it looks a bit weird, especially because it's like zapping the ground, and the ground is like just totally flat. It's just like a little bit singed. Like, are we gonna have to dodge this as an obstacle? Is it just for the aesthetic? I don't know. But you can kind of tell that it's just sort of been splooshed in there. But still, it's positive change. There's zombies feeling stuff in the town, and I think that's a good thing. We've also got Liberty Lanes, which we already saw before. That looks pretty similar to what we saw from everything I can tell here. There's Savings and Loan, the bank. And again, the main sort of difference that I'm really detecting is just that it's a lot more gray and overcast than it was before. And then you've got the Holy Fools Church. And the church, again, you can see this portal-looking storm cloud thing out in the graveyard. And honestly, part of the reason they've done that might be that it is an actual obstacle that you've got to navigate, and they're doing it so that the map is not as big. They might have heard our feedback that the map just seemed too open before, and they're like, okay, hold your horses. Let's not do that. So maybe that's what that is there for, potentially. In which case, I think I back it. I think I support that. And then you've got the Alamo, which we've also seen. That looks pretty similar to everything we've seen so far. It's also where the last surviving members of the Project Janus response teams made their last stand. Cool. And we're on to Augments. Okay, very curious about this. This already looks right up my street. Hell yeah. So you've got Equip Augments and Research Augments. As a reminder, Augments are unlockable gameplay advantages you can apply to every perk and mod field upgrade in the game. There are 108 available to unlock and equip at launch. That's a pretty good number. That's pretty damn good. 48 for perks, 30 for ammo mods, and 30 for field upgrades. But the difference there is strictly because of the fact that there's just more perks. So they all have 6 augments regardless, which is 3 major and 3 minor. Here's Energy Mine, but we'll come back to the specifics of what it does in a second. So the key to unlocking the full potential of your loadouts is Augment Research. This unlocks at player level 11. So this is the augment options for Energy Mine. So you've got majors and minors here. And I mean, they're going to go into a lot of detail on augments. Oh my god, there's so much stuff here. Jesus Christ. Oh, and there's perk stuff as well, and there's gobblegum info, and there's Jesus. Okay, what we're gonna do then is on screen right now, I'm gonna link a video dedicated to some of the more niche details of this blog post. If you want to watch that and learn exactly how these augments work, click through now.